Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I just have to say something about my friend Kamadi. I met Kamadi when we were 5 years old in kindergarten. And Kamadi has always been my friend. And one of the things between Kamadi and myself that we had for over 50 years was there will only be one Kimati Dinizulu and there will only be one Louise Stamp. And we always said to one another, if you see my name anywhere, or if you hear my name mentioned, it's me. And although I lost touch with Kamadi at one point, knowing that he traveled back to Africa, Kamadi was playing at a school, and he was playing, and it was very quiet, and nobody wasn't saying anything. So I was saying, woo, 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 and he looked, and I was like, it's me, it's Louise. And we waved and we reconnected, and to tie it up, I started teaching because I was one of Gus's dancers, 5, 6, all the way through. And this is what we used to talk about all the time. We used to talk about his dad and the traditional dances that Gus taught us, Fanga and Alpo and Nago and the stick dance and the boot dance. And these are the things that we would speak about all the time. And I was working at the Recenter, and I said, Kamadi, they're not singing it right, and they're not doing it right, and you need to come because they don't know bass, tone, bass, bass. And I need you to help us. And Kamadi came and my daughter was a part of this group, and I told him that she knows Doladier because I taught it to her when she was a little girl. And then he said, well, could you still sing it? And I said, of course, I know all the words to it. And he said, well, could you still do Fanga? I said, could you do bass, tone, And she did, and I said, but your father had a little bit more power to it. And he gave it more power. And the more power that he gave, he said, now let me see you do it. And he didn't expect me to take off my shoes and come on out, start singing Doladier and just go right into Fanga. And with all that said and done, Kamadi came to the New York Public Library where I work, not Schaumburg, but a different building in the New York Public Library, and he played at the New York Public Library, and again he started playing, and he said, now watch this, because she says when she hears it, she's going to dance, and of course I had to dance in front of everybody. And again he played for the Black History program. Again he's saying, do you want to see something? You want to see what your co-worker can do? And the audience said, watch this. But nevertheless, I just thank God for my time with him. I thank God for all the conversations that we had, and I heard you say that you don't say rest in peace, so I say that Kamadi has went from labor to reward. Thank you.
Many of you don't know, I'm going to point this out in 2 minutes. Many of you don't know that Kimati inspired my first ballet because he wrote the music. And the ballet was called Divine. The very first ballet I did for the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Had I not been inspired by him just playing for the classes that I was teaching after I had finished doing a Broadway show. And he came, Mr. Ailey called me from the country and said, come on and just teach a workshop. And I said, I need a drummer, the drummer. And there was Kimati. And by the time we did the showing for this first piece that I did in the studio at 1515 Broadway, Kimati started playing, and then there were 2 more drummers, and there were 3 more drummers. By the time we showed it, there were 7 brilliant percussionists being led by the one and only Kimati. You have no idea how much this man means to me, and how much I will miss him, because I was totally stunned, as I'm sure you all were. he was gone. But as I'm sitting out there listening and waiting for a chair, thank you so much for my chair. But as I was sitting out there, I could see he was just coming right there. I could see him right in my eye. I could see him. I could sense him. I could feel him. This will be for the rest of my life. That he will constantly be going through me as I walk down the street, as I talk to young people, as I do whatever I'm doing in my life. He will always be with me. He is a true God child. And I thank you, and I mean God child. Thank you, Kimati, for starting me out, for waking me up, for showing me a way that I hadn't been, and for continuing to show me a new way, even as your transition has come. Thank you.
The Angel Majawe Center, so we ask that you join us in the repast at that place. Thank you.
It's recharge. Our brother, Nana. He knew we needed to come together to recharge that African spirit that's in all of us. Because now, after that association, he has given us much, he reminded us of much. We have to take it out into the world which needs it. Yes. I think never before have our people needed you. Excuse me. Needed your power. Our young people don't know who we are. They don't know of our job that we have to do. Who was it, Harry, who said we have to do it again? Can I get our share on that? And so, our brother changed form. You can't touch him, but you feel him, isn't that right? And so I know I cannot go on, so I'll just give this little poem. He was a force of nature. We are forces of nature in a world that despises nature. So we must make our presence known in a depth that they have not felt before. They know us. They know that we come back again and again and again. And spirit. Spirit comes and goes away to come again another day. At another time, another place, with another smile on another face. With another hope, another dream, another plan, another scheme, with another voice from another youth or an ancient sage with an ancient truth. Spirit comes and goes away, but spirit always returns. So when this brother shared his spirit with us, it's our job to go out and share it with this world and make it what it should be. Only we can do that. Only the children of Africa can change this world to where it should be. Can I get an ashe on that? Can I get an amen on that? Can I get a...
Thank you, Robert. So I started blogging a lot lately, just writing stuff down as it comes to me. And so as soon as I got this news, I sat on my computer and I tried to hash this out. So I'm just going to read it. I sent it to all of my brothers, the circle of us, and they, they all stamped their approval of it. So I'm just going to read it. And a great musician, good friend, and elder, Uncle Yarbrough, said to me a few weeks before he died, "Kwame, go to the doctor and get checked out, and do it often." He went on to tell me that he never, ever, ever thought that this could happen to him. He was in pain, but still carrying on as he always had, or at least it seemed so on the surface. I remember him making a point to come to as much stuff as he could in the last days. He is missed, as are many others from his generation. Those who delitted the way and cleared away thickets so that those of my generation could find a path to the progress in these arts of Africa are all but gone now. And this day is heavy with strong emotion and feeling of loss as we all move our thoughts and focus our memories on possibly the most influential of that last generation, Kamati Dinizulu. He was a father, a brother, a man's man, a teacher, a friend, a musician, a historian, a curator, a visionary, a guider of dreams and aspirations, a spiritualist, a medicine man, a quote-unquote shoemaker with no shoes, and a king. As I hit each key to write this, I hold back the tears because when I write, the truth of my emotions tend to spill from my soul to my fingers. There's a circle. There's an inner circle that really knew Nana Kamadi and spent lots of time with him, and we all have our stories. Bro, you don't know Mingus? He turned me on to Mingus, and if that were all, that would be enough. That changed my life. He helped shape and mold me into a dynamic and unique artist, and for that I am eternally grateful. I'm glad I got the chance to be able to let him know that, but there's so much more. He put me in places and gave me experiences that I couldn't have had without him. He introduced me to a world of spirituality that was always present in my life, but felt unattainable as a young person and a little confusing, partially due to the esoteric nature of the gerontocracy at that time. Nana Kamadi made it accessible. He cussed a lot and talked about Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, Nasty Nas. But then we went into the shrine and we spoke about God and the serious nature of the earth's forces. Then we put on a reel-to-reel and listened to a rare Coltrane recordings that he had and talked about Chief Bey and Bobby Shanky and Queensbridge and watched film of Dinizulu African dancers and drummers performing in the 60s being introduced by a very young James Earl Jones. He had the same deep voice even back then. We marveled at his stories of when he got quote-unquote stuck in Africa for 2 years and all the crazy things that happened on tour when he was out with jazz cats or playing with Irish bands. We wanted that life. He gave us something to aspire to. We are the artists that we are because of how he did it, and in many ways we are still chasing his success. He made us understand the seriousness of the arts, of our culture, and of what it meant to be an African-American artist learning, performing, and teaching the African arts. Yes. Bro, if you don't know it, don't effing teach it. He was the product of his parents, the late great Nana Yarbrough Dinizulu, who I affectionately refer to as Big Nana, as he was the first and reigns paramount for me on all fronts. And Auntie Alice Dinizulu. He continued for us what they started for so many people. He embellished their love for us and young people, and we're all the better for it. Nana Kamadi perfectly adapted an amalgamation of inner city street culture and the African culture we were all raised in. As artists, historians, and preservers of the culture, he taught us that we cannot and should not neglect 400 years of presence in America in an attempt to be quote-unquote more African. He always taught us about the contributions of Africans in America to music, dance, and the overall culture of America. We may have never known about the legacy of African dance and drum in this country had it not been for Big Nana, then Nana Kamadi. Yes. No doubt, having benefited from the wisdom of his dad, Kamadi was able to transfer his unique perspective to my generation in a way that at one time or another made us all idolize him. He taught us that we can still be us. We can still be some quote-unquote real dudes and practice the culture. He would always ask me about go-go music in the early years and tell me how much he wanted me to take him to a quote-unquote go-go club when he came to the city. No adult would ever say that to us. I miss him, and I'm going to miss him forever now. This letter feels incomplete because I can really go on forever with stories about for stories of my own as well as those of Bobbio's, Osays, Kwasis, Kwabenas, Bremmers, and everybody else's recollections. Nana Kamadi was truly the most quotable dude we all have ever known. But this is what I can muster for now, and I wanted to grab what I had and get it on paper. In the coming days, I know the conversations and writings will span hours and be tremendously heartfelt. Until then, please forgive the limited nature of this transmission. And lastly, a message from myself and to my brothers. We have to get and stay healthy, my dudes. Drink, but don't overdo it. Smoke, but be cautious and know when to say when or don't do it at all. Go to the doctor and the dentist. We sometimes need Western medicine to fight Western diseases. Enjoy life, but balance it all with restraint and good diet. We all have sons, and if you don't, we are all uncles, so we have young males who we're responsible for. Let us heed the words of Uncle K. Kwayao and take better care of ourselves. We aren't getting any younger, and I don't want to bury any of you anytime soon. I love you, bros. That's real, and we lost our big bro. We owe it to the next generation to be around to spread the legacy that Nana Kamadi and Big Nana started, and to do our part to help keep the fire burning. Thank you.